Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate your cancel did not rebook rate for a physiotherapy private practice. Now, the cancellation did not rebook rate is absolutely critical to understand because if we can improve this figure and it goes in the right direction, it can have a massive impact on your profits, but also most importantly, help the patient get the result that they originally came to you for. If you don't know me, my name is Dave O'Sullivan. I'm an international sports physio for the last 17 years. I've got my own private practice here in Huddersfield. We track our cancellation did not rebook rate religiously. We also mentor clinic owners, and I've also mentored over 1,500 plus go-to physios in over 40 countries all over the world. Now, why I'm telling you that is because I've got a unique vantage point where I can see what is a good trait and what is a bad trait for clinicians, and what are the good traits associated with a good cancel did not rebook rate, and what are the habits that cause a cancel did not rebook rate to be higher than it needs to be. So first of all, how do we calculate your cancel did not rebook rate? Well, let's keep the maths simple. Okay, what you want to do is on any given week, you want to know, okay, how many potential appointments had I in the diary? Okay, so all of the appointments that you have in the diary for that week, let's say you have 10 appointments, okay? And then let's say by the end of that week, actually you had 2 cancellations that haven't rebooked for the next week. So if somebody called the clinic and said, hey, I've got an emergency, can I move my appointment to next week? Then that's fine. You don't include that person in your numbers because that person has cancelled, but they've rebooked. We're only interested in the number of appointments that you've seen plus the number of appointments who didn't rebook another appointment. So they've no appointment rebooked in the diary currently, okay? So they've cancelled, but they haven't rebooked another appointment, okay? Now, and again, that can be genuine where they go, okay, I'll ring back the next week and let you know once I know my schedule, okay? There is a small percentage of people that will be genuine, but there's also a lot of people who will say that because they don't like conflict, okay? So let's say, for example, starting out at the start of the week, on Monday, we've got 8 patients booked into our diary, and then we pick up another 2. By Friday, we potentially have 10 patients that we could have seen that week, but 2 patients cancelled and haven't rebooked, okay? So what that is then is we get that number, which is 2 patients have cancelled and not rebooked, and then we divide that by the total potential appointments that we could have had. So that is the total appointments that we saw plus the 2 cancellations. Okay, so I've made it nice and convenient. We saw 8 patients, plus we had 2 cancellations. So we take the 2 cancellations and we divide that by 10. And then that gives us 20, essentially, okay, or 0.2. We multiply that by 100, that'll give us a 20% cancellation did not rebook. Okay, and that's essentially how you find it. So again, all the potential appointments you could have seen, including the cancellations that didn't rebook, then you take the cancellation did not rebook and divide it by that number. Okay, multiply by 100 to get your percentage, and there you have your cancellation did not rebook rate. So that begs the question, what is an acceptable good cancellation did not rebook rate? And again, this is based on our experience of tracking this over the last 10 years and working with lots of clinic owners and some very, very good clinicians and clinics. And we personally now find that a cancellation did not rebook rate that's fair is less than 8%. Okay, and again, that's just based on data from all the clinics in our go-to clinic mentorship and our own clinic over the years. Okay, now the average clinic, when they first join us in the go-to clinic mentorship, they're usually sitting at around 15 to 25% cancellation did not rebook rate. Okay, which is a staggering number. Okay, and if we get that down from 15% to 8%, and we drive the initial assessment rebook rate up from 70% usually to 90%, and we get the patient visit average up from 3 to 6, then you get a 2.3 times growth of the business without any new patients. Okay, so if you had 100 patients and you had an IA rebook rate of 70, and we get that to 90, we get our cancellation did not rebook rate from 15%, which is quite conservative, down to 8%. And then we get your patient visit average up from 3 to 6 because a lot of your patients are staying on track now. Then if you had 100 patients, 2 clinics, and they both charged £50 per session, okay, and you sorted your cancellation did not rebook rate, which gives you an opportunity to keep more patients progressing, which naturally then increases your patient visit average from 3 to 6. it's an extra £18,000 in additional revenue out of those 100 appointments. That's absolutely massive, okay? So Clinic A was able to generate £14,000 from their 100 patients. Clinic B was able to generate £32,000, okay? A massive, massive difference. And that shows you the importance of that to the clinic's profitability. But most importantly, it shows you the ability of that patient to continue all the way to the end goal and achieve their definition of success that they told you they wanted help with in the first place. Okay, so well worth knowing your numbers. Cancellation did not rebook rate. The biggest tip I can give you to improve this is have a clear next step every session. That usually is a symptom of what didn't happen in the first session. If we set expectations in the first session with the patient, we tell them what's the problem, why it happened, what's the plan, how many sessions it's going to take, and we map out a patient-defined value outcome treatment plan, then very often you'll take care of the IA rebook rate, you'll take care of the cancellation did not rebook rate if you have a clear next step with the patient. So we get the therapist clear first, then they can communicate that effectively to the patient, and then we get everything else to take care of itself. Okay, I've got a free training on how to improve all of this. Okay, I've got a PDF guide with a free training. Have a look for me on Instagram, it's Dave O'Sullivan Physio, or search for me on LinkedIn, send me a message, say, hey Dave, or watch your YouTube video on improving my cancellation did not rebook rate. Can you send me the training? Okay, and I'll get that over to you as well to help you with that. I've also got loads of resources on our website, thegotophysio.com. More than happy to help you, have a chat with you if you need some support with this. It's a very common thing, as I said, for a clinic to have 20-25% cancel did not rebook rate, and with a little bit of structure and a couple of clinical step-by-step systems installed into the practice that allows you to maintain your treatment autonomy, we can get that down very, very quickly. Okay, hope that's useful for you. Any questions, find me on Instagram, find me on LinkedIn, send me a message. More than happy to have a chat.